The night he finally agreed to the blind date, the poor single dad never imagined he would walk into a quiet restaurant carrying exhaustion in his bones and walk out carrying someone else's broken heart along with his own. He stood there in borrowed confidence and worn shoes, watching a woman across the table fight tears she could no longer hide, and in that moment he realized some wounds don't care about money, titles, or power. Some pain simply finds you when you are most alone. Before the story goes further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of humanity, please like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel Kindness Hub Tale. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them. He was a single father long before he was ready to be one. Life had taken a sharp turn when his wife passed away, leaving him with a small child and a mountain of responsibilities that never slept. Every morning began before sunrise and every night ended with silent prayers whispered over his child's bed. His days were spent juggling a modest job, school pickups, unpaid bills, and the constant fear of not being enough. He rarely thought about himself anymore. Love felt like a luxury he could no longer afford, and happiness felt like something meant for other people. The blind date had not been his idea. It came from a well-meaning coworker who insisted he deserved something more than survival. He almost canceled at the last minute, staring at his reflection and seeing only tired eyes and a man shaped by loss. Still, something pushed him forward. Maybe it was loneliness. Maybe it was hope he didn't want to admit he still had. The restaurant was elegant in a quiet, intimidating way, filled with polished wood, soft lighting, and the kind of calm that made him feel out of place. When he saw her sitting there, beautifully dressed yet strangely fragile, he felt an instant mismatch. She carried herself with grace, but her eyes told a different story. There was sadness there, deep and unresolved, like a storm held back by sheer will. She was known in the city as a powerful CEO, a woman who ran companies, made decisions that affected hundreds of lives, and commanded respect in boardrooms where fear was currency. But none of that power followed her into that moment. As the evening unfolded, the walls she had built cracked. Tears slipped free, not dramatically, but helplessly, as if she had been holding them in for years and simply ran out of strength. What she said didn't come as loud words, but as raw truth. She spoke about loneliness that money couldn't fix, about rooms full of people where she felt invisible, about being admired but never truly loved. She spoke about growing up believing success would protect her from pain, only to discover it magnified it. She had everything the world promised would make her happy, yet every night ended with the same hollow silence. Listening to her, the single dad felt his chest tighten. He had walked in believing he was the broken one, the poor man with nothing to offer but honesty and fatigue. Yet here was someone who had climbed every ladder society praised and still found herself empty. Her tears shattered the illusion he had carried for years, the idea that wealth could shield the heart. He didn't interrupt her. He didn't try to fix her pain. He simply stayed present, offering something he had learned through loss and responsibility, quiet understanding. In his own life, there had been no safety net, no luxury of falling apart. He had learned to endure, to love deeply without expecting reward, and to show up even when he felt invisible. As the night went on, something shifted. The space between them no longer felt awkward. It felt honest. She saw him not as a struggling father, but as a man who had loved fiercely and survived. He saw her not as a CEO, but as a woman who had been strong for too long without being held. Challenges still loomed large. His life was defined by limits, schedules, and sacrifices. Hers was defined by expectations, pressure, and emotional isolation. Neither of them had an easy path forward. But in that shared vulnerability, a bridge formed. It wasn't romance yet. It was something quieter and more powerful, recognition. Over the following weeks, they met again, not in luxury, but in ordinary places where real life lived. She met his child and saw the tenderness he carried so naturally. He saw her let go of control, learning how to exist without performance or armor. Slowly, both began to change. He allowed himself to dream beyond survival. She allowed herself to feel without fear of weakness. The world didn't magically fix their problems. Bills didn't disappear. Corporate stress didn't vanish. But they faced life differently now, anchored by empathy and shared humanity. Love didn't arrive like a grand gesture. It grew like quiet light after a long night. Near the end of this story, if it has touched your heart even a little, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Hub Tale. Your engagement helps keep stories of compassion and second chances alive. Before the ending, we have a special request for you. Please comment below and tell us what part of this story moved you the most, because your words may give strength to someone silently struggling. In the end, the poor single dad learned that being rich was never about money, and the powerful CEO learned that strength didn't mean standing alone. Two broken lives didn't collide to shatter further, they met to heal. And sometimes, the kindest miracles don't come from success or wealth, but from simply being seen, understood, and loved at the right moment.